I guess it started out with Mom just taking her car over there.
Yep.
And then I had to take mine in, and we were just talking, he's like, I just love your mom. I said, she just loves you too. And we talked about his family and my family, and, Then Mom had a wreck. So he had her car. He fixed it. Yeah, bless her heart. He was fixing her car at his cost at his house. And his son drove my car because I was injured. At that point, the only car we had between us was my Mustang. My mother didn't like to ride in it because she has a really, really bad back. And it was a Standard, and I wasn't supposed to be driving a Standard. So his son gave me his little PT Cruiser, and he drove my car for about 4 months.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And we just, it's just little bitty conversations here and there. He one time he said, "What do you do?" And I told him. He said, "Man," he said, my brother needs a loan. Let me see if you can help him." I said, "Okay." So, and I wasn't working for Tony then.
Sure.
His brother called me. We did a quick app, and he had some credit problems. And so then they decided, no, he wasn't going to buy a house. We're still working on his credit problems. Then they decided, well, maybe we'll do this. So, I've got about 3 or 4 of his family members I'm working on their credit for. And I had to talk to him. I called him when I was buying my Acura, getting rid of my Mustang. I said, "Our Acura is good." He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, can I bring this one by?"
I've owned 5 Acuras in my life. I swear by them.
I'm glad, because I'm liking this one. If I had to leave my Standard, at least it's got all the little bells and whistles on it.
Do you have did you get a sedan or the sport utility?
No, it's a little 4-door sedan.
Oh, is it the TSX or the ILX?
It's a TL. It's a little older.
Oh, yeah, okay. The 2000 and probably, yeah, I know exactly. Yep, I've had a 2003, 2005, 2007, 2013.
Okay, I have the 2010.
Yep.
Hey, guys.
That's funny. Hey,
What's
Tony.
up, Tony?
Howdy. Sorry I'm late.
What was your score? I gotta know.
I have no clue. We didn't keep score. I just all I know
Tony
is
went
I parred
golfing
3
today,
holes.
Doug.
You went golfing today. Good for you, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was work. It was work. Work related.
Hey, buddy, you know what they call that? They call that not working. I don't want to hear the word networking. It's called not working.
Not working.
I was out not working. I don't know what you want.
Yeah, it was good.
That's actually kind of funny, because Linda and I were just talking about exactly that, how in idle conversations with people around us, we find opportunities that, in all fairness, sometimes surprise us. She'd gotten a loan from her mechanic, and I was curious how that conversation evolved. And if you think about how many people you talk to throughout your day and how many people have actually given you business just through your conversations, it's really not that many. The problem, I think, lies a lot in our inability to recognize how to make those relationships advocates of our business just by having honest and genuine conversations. I think your loyalty and your personality and the way in which you handle yourself, Linda, with that mechanic and your mom, drew him into it. And, he looking for a trustworthy person who he believes he has a relationship with is probably the same way that you look at him when you give somebody your car. He knows what he's doing underneath the hood, like what he's doing with, with the finances behind the scenes. And at some point, you just give it to that person and go, listen, I don't want to know what it's like to turn a wrench under a car. I don't want to know the details. I just want to trust that whoever's fixing my car is going to make so that when I drive my car, I'm not going to get into an accident. And I think a lot of that plays into that relationship. But those happen accidentally, and I think those really account for only about 20% of your 20% of your incidental loans. I think a lot of the conversations that I coach on my calls are more about, like, I love using Tony words now. It's being intentional and, you know, still being yourself, but understanding that every conversation leads to a moment when somebody says, "What do you do for a living?" You know, you can tell them you're a loan officer. You can tell them you're an originator. You can tell them that you're a relationship amplifier. You can tell them that you help people accomplish dreams. I mean, there's so many things that you can say. It just depends on how intentional you are in that conversation at the moment.
Right.
So
right.
that's all.
And
it's funny. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
I went to a little networking event last night that was put together by my wife's business broker, and this was the guy that introduced me to. He's made a couple of really key introductions, and what was interesting, you know, we did the little 30-second elevator pitch, and when he went up there, that's exactly what he did. He said, I wake up every day to, and I'm going to butcher how he said it, but this is in essence what he said. I wake up every day with a purpose to connect people and then get out of the way. That's what I do.
Wow.
And I thought that was really, you know, I just thought that was really cool, because he's a business broker. He wants to meet businesses, but honestly, his mindset is just, I want to connect people.
What's his name?
And his name's Carl Melman, Mehlman.
Would you like to be that kind of a person?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Then his message is so powerful that you might not even realize it. This guy gets up there and basically says, "I'm a relationship amplifier." That's what his passion is. But the beautiful part about it is that he's helped you out, and I guarantee at some point you're going to repay him. In some way, shape, or form, it's going to come back to him. And what he's done is he's planted a very meaningful and powerful seed inside of you that at any turn in your business or in your day, you will seek out or be aware of conversations that may help him, and you will be compelled to want to help him out because of the impact that he's made on you, and all he's done is made introductions, right?
That's it.
Therein lies the secret. Therein lies the secret to everything we talk about.
Yeah, it's the law of reciprocity.
Buddy, you couldn't have said it any more clear. That gentleman and what he stands for and what he does is the epitome of being a reciprocal relationship amplifier. He literally makes the introductions and gets out of the way. And what ends up coming from those conversations is a meaningful business based on how those two people work together. He is essentially the connector. He's the triangle of trust instigator. He does everything that he can to build that social capital. And at some point, there's enough people that he touches where it starts to come back. Do you know what his request is?
Do I know what his request is?
Yeah. How does he make money?
Oh, well, he buys and sells businesses or represents businesses, either buyers of businesses or sellers of businesses. So, I mean, he's a lot like a realist. He's a realtor for businesses.
Right. Wow.
So when my wife's business sells, we're going to pay him 8%.
Wow. Interesting. So he doesn't get up there and talk about how he manages the sale of a business. He doesn't get up there and do anything in relation. He doesn't talk about what he does. He only talks about why he does it.
That's cool.
Yeah, he didn't say a word. Didn't say a word about Commerce Business Advisors. Not a word.
But you know what he does, don't you?
Yeah, if I didn't know him, I would be I would be wondering what he does. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
yep. So you would seek him out. You would seek him out because he's piqued your curiosity, and so you would look for him to tell you what he does, as opposed to him telling you what he does.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
you would solicit the conversation, right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I would.
I know.
It's an art, guys.
Because, so it's the law of attraction. You attract people that think the same way that you think, and I've gotten to know him pretty well over the last handful of months, and he walks the talk. He's very much a connector, and that's what he does. But now I want to be associated with the people that he associates with, because they all have a similar mindset.
Oh,
they're all connectors.
Wow. That's amazing. Isn't that just the coolest thing ever to see it in real life and practice, not in our mortgage industry?
It's funny. It's funny.
It truly is everything we talk about in action. He doesn't get up there and talk about what he does. He doesn't get up there and talk about how a little bit about how he does it, but he gives of himself unconditionally, knowing full well that he's created thoughts like you're having, Tony, and everybody, because he just gives. And because he gives, he essentially creates social capital that pays him back in dividends, not because he's directly asking for it. He's not leaning on anybody. He doesn't lean on anybody. He simply talks about why he does it. And that is so freaking cool. And then we're all attracted to that kind of environment, thus creating business opportunities just because we're associated with somebody like him.
Right.
That's freaking awesome, brother. That's the best thing I've ever heard. You literally have a real world application of what I'm discussing that has nothing to do with the mortgage industry, and you're seeing it from a perspective that many people may not even recognize.
Right. Yeah, and that's it's a mindset, buddy. It's definitely a mindset that, unless, I don't know, it's a mindset that requires a paradigm shift.
You know what it means? You have to have faith. It means that you have to truly believe that you're worth it, and if you give enough of yourself, you'll get it in return. You don't have to force it. You don't have to swindle it. You don't have to orchestrate it. You don't have to manipulate it. You just be clear on your why and go out there and give, and you will harvest so much. So much. Is this guy successful?
Yeah, he is. I don't know that he's wildly successful.
Well, that's a definition that each of us, that we all get to give ourselves.
Yeah, he does well. He does well.
So
I know that.
When you think of that, people don't look at him as a. I mean, basically, he's what's his name did in Pretty Woman, right? He just buys and sells companies.
Yeah. This entire process that we've gone through with my wife and her business, it parallels real estate. It's so similar, the process. So he's a listing agent for businesses.
So what happens if he was this? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and once in a while he'll represent the buyer too.
Okay. Imagine him standing up in front of a group of people and go, I sell businesses. I buy and sell businesses. I'm looking for somebody who's in the market to sell a business. Just listen to how that sounds compared to how he does it.
It's very different.
It's exactly what I'm trying to get you guys to understand.
Day and night, yep.
It's totally different because he's not trying to sell his business. He's trying to communicate his value.
And my interest is piqued just listening to Tony talk. I'm like, what does he do? What does he do?
Right? Right. I just love that story, Tony. I think that's the coolest comparison. I will use that in some of the other calls that I have next week because I think that's truly it's truly a real world experience that if you can't see the parallel between how you do business and how he does business, then you're missing the boat completely. But I think you, more than anybody, and now Linda, totally get what he does and why he does it. But what you guys are driven by the how he does it, and you seek him out before he seeks you out. And isn't that what we all want? Isn't that what we all want?
Yep.
We want to be the ones that we want to go with the law of attraction.
So he's got he put this event together with another guy that he introduced me to. Well, actually, that I met at another function that he had invited me to. He's very, he's for one reason or another, he's shown a pretty what I would consider to be a pretty significant interest in connecting me with influencers.
Why do you think that?
So, which is
no, seriously.
Well,
ask yourself
maybe
that question. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's in my mind. It's one of two reasons. One is because that's just the way he is, or two, it's because he's representing my wife.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that either one of those is the truest answer?
I would think that it would probably. I would like to think that it's more the prior than the latter.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you on both of them. I'm going to say it has more. I'm going to say it has more to do with that he likes you. I would tend to believe that he does it because he believes that you share the same relationship views as he does. I think you help him expand his relationships. He sees you as an amplifier, like you see him as an amplifier, and we are all attracted to those like-minded people. So there's a feeling about why he's doing this for you. And he could probably articulate it, and I would challenge you to ask him point blank. But I think a lot of what a guy like that does for people like you and I is he sees something that evokes an emotion that says he's the person that I want to help. He's attracted to what your belief system is. You can think that he's a salesman, what you talk about because he's representing your wife's business, but after that business is gone and that sale is done, I don't think he's going to stop talking to you, nor do I think that's his MO because he hasn't really presented himself as being a salesperson. He's more of a consultant, true consultant.
I agree. I don't think he...
No, I think it has more to do with... Go ahead, Linda.
I was going to say I don't think he would jeopardize any of his relationships if he didn't feel like you were the same kind of guy. He's not going to...
I think you represent him well. I think it goes into the whole... I think he sees you as an amplifier of relationships, and he recognizes that he's better introducing you to other people because there's 100 LOs and 100 realtors and whatnot in your market, and you're special not because of what you do, but rather why you do it. And he gets that. You may not say it as proficiently or as fluidly as you'd like it, but he gets it because of the way he approaches business. Just like I get it when I talk to people who may not be able to articulate it, but I see where their intentions are. You know what I mean?
I do. You absolutely can sense it in other people. You can tell when somebody has a similar mindset, or if they've got a scarcity mentality, or if it's really. Yeah, Doug. Honestly, I don't know that I would have had these same conversations or met the same people in positions of influence that I have if it wasn't for home benefit IQ. I don't. And you know what the funny thing is it's actually helping my traditional realtor business too.
Ah, amazing.
Funny how that
works. Holy cow, isn't it? It's just crazy. There is such an eye-opener that's happening for me on the call with you guys today, going, if you cannot use this example as a means to tell yourself how you have to be present with people, Tony, you just hit the nail on the head. You literally just hit the nail on the head. You can sense it in other people, which means that they can sense it in you. So if you're not crystal clear on your value, and if you're not crystal clear on your unique selling proposition, and if you're not clear on your why, no matter how hard you try, it's going to feel like you're leaning on them most of the time. But the more intentional you are with the conversation, the more consistent you are with the conversation, the more it becomes something that defines you. You know, the more repetitions you get, the greater the definition of your muscle. Mm-hmm. And that's really what you're trying to build, is that consistency that allows you to be that. And if you're going to aspire to be anybody, it's to be that person that when people talk to you, they're attracted to you. Not because of what you have, not because of what you provide, not because of, you know, the products that you sell or or anything. They're attracted to Tony and Linda because of what they believe is the law of reciprocity. They're attracted to you because you don't lean on them. You don't come from a place of scarcity. You come from a place of abundance, which everybody wants to be associated with that.
Right. That's true. Very true.
Does that make sense?
Scarcity mentality. Yes, that makes perfect sense. The scarcity mentality is that it's all over the place, and it's repulsive.
It is. It is repulsive. It's amazing how well, now that you're aware of this, just even the identification of the scarcity method or being somebody that leans on people, you now can listen to conversations and go, ooh, this person's a leaner. They're desperate. They're in need of something.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's so cool how this stuff happens at such the right moment. Right, Linda?
Yeah, that's the way it works.
Linda, you're on this call today because of something special. I think you're going to take this message and you're really going to buy into it today.
I have been making all kinds of notes over here.
I'm recording this call today, so you'll be able to re-listen to it.
Good. Yeah, I'm getting a lot out of it. I hadn't thought about the leaning thing. I started to listen. I missed that on the call last week, that part. And I was kind of listening to the beginning before I got on this call. So I heard your definition of leaning, and you're talking about it. Mm-hmm. I was like, ding, 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 ding.
Right. People feel it. People feel when you're leaning. God, and Tony, you said it point blank. You can tell when somebody's coming from a scarcity method.
Yep.
And that's the fun part about when you talk to realtors. That's the easiest way to sift through agents. It really is the easiest way to sift through realtors or affiliated relationships. Ask them the questions that you know that they will have to answer, and see how much they lean on you. And that gives you the identification of who's the right person for your business and who's not the right person, who's referable and who's not.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's so there are it's a minority of real estate agents, and that's honestly, that's why I prefer to build the business with HR people who have the ability, like corporate recruiters who have the ability to send people your way, but they don't but they're not looking for quid pro quo.
Right. Because that's not their role. They're not in sales.
Exactly.
And nobody's ever leaned on them. Like, you come in with value, so you don't have to deal with the preconceived notion that you're leaning on them. So it works out really, really well. And it works for you because you're a business owner, Tony. You're not a loan officer. And it works well because you understand what it means to be an entrepreneur. You understand what it means to be a leader. And not every person in our career, in our industry, knows what that means. So it's easy for you to relate to those people because it's more of who you are.
So I got a question for you. So one of the things that's starting to take shape, I met with Austin Regional Clinic this week. And I think I'd mentioned to you that I've been working on trying to get in with them for a while. And we met on Tuesday, and it went well. You know, it could probably go either way, but if I had to guess, just based on the feedback that she gave me, my guess is they're going to roll it out. But right after that, so they've got about 2,500 employees. And right after that, I called, I don't know if I told you about this other meeting that I had with a benefits broker, like very non-traditional benefits, and they work with companies 5,000 employees and up.
Yep.
I called him because one of the things that I took away from this meeting with Austin Regional Clinic was the employees love discounts. They love the discount. They love the discount. So that's essentially what Beneplace with this benefits broker does. They put together pretty elaborate discount programs with, and then they roll it out to large companies. So I called them up and said, hey, I know you guys work with 5,000 and up, but I may have what could you do with a company with 2,500 employees? He said, well, we could probably do something. And he said, do you have a group like this? I said, I may. In the next couple of weeks, I may. So what I'm trying to construct is, or orchestrate, is bringing Beneplace in to offer that discount program. But here's what that can potentially do. That can put me in a position of almost like being a benefits broker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes total sense.
So how does that, and maybe this is a compliance question, but when your primary business is mortgage, are you allowed to have additional businesses? I don't even know.
Yes.
Yes, you can. You just can't have other real estate businesses.
Correct.
Like you can on a title company. You have to go through all this other stuff on a title company and all that kind of stuff. But yeah,
and you got to be careful with regards to financial planning and things of that sort. But
right.
I absolutely think that there are other businesses that you can own and operate. Like, I mean, I had residential real estate property. I had a rental portfolio. So yes, I have other business. So I mean,
okay.
I'm sure there are boundaries. Don't misconstrue that. But I think as a general rule, there are opportunities for you to have other businesses.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it's interesting. It's interesting how these conversations are creating opportunities that just wouldn't be there otherwise.
Oh, it's just kind of cool, isn't it? How all you have to do is find what you really are passionate about and focus on it, and it's amazing what ancillary, where the business comes from. It's not because you hunted it. You're not leaning on the mortgage business anymore. You're leaning on something else, and what happens then? All this other mortgage stuff starts to pop up.
Yep.
It's cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot
Anybody?
of this pop up.
We got the yeah. I sent projections in. Yeah, I think yesterday.
Yep, I saw them.
I don't know. Okay. All right. So
I did.
you know, it's a little bit better than July and August
Yep.
and September.
Yep.
And so this is first quarter too, Doug, is really going to be, that's going to be fun because that's when if these PEOs work out, that's when it's going to get really interesting.
Well, let me ask you this question. Have you prepared yourself for the possibility of it getting crazy?
I'm well, prepared myself mentally or prepared business-wise?
Do you have a plan? Do you have a plan that is executable? Do you have a plan that's executable in a very short period of time? Do you have people lined up? Do you have all the things necessary lined up so that if business does surge, that you're not going to all of a sudden reach a breaking point in less than a week?
Implode.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
And that's the reality of it. Sure.
Well, do we have the capacity in our branch to take on the business that could potentially come from these? No, we do not have the capacity. So I've been, yeah, I've got feelers out, but I don't have a bench lined up.
Okay. I would caution you, for all the effort that you're putting into this, you cannot afford to have your first breakout be a breakdown. And so I'm not saying, obviously, to go out and hire a bunch of people today. What I'm saying is you should have a bench lined up of people that understand that if this does take off, you're going to be calling them sooner than later. Fair?
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Because the best thing could end up being the worst thing for you.
Yeah. How are the
others?
other?
It shows leadership to your team.
So let me ask you this: as an emergency valve, how are the other Texas branches in terms of their capacity?
They're hiring.
Are they all? They're hiring.
We have 0 Texas branches that have their corporate. We don't process anybody's loans in Texas.
Yeah.
So what they literally do, so I will tell you that Kellen Vaughn is probably the best manager and leader at the company. We have great producers that run branches, but very few of them are really strong leaders. And by strong leaders, I mean they understand HR, they understand compliance, they understand hiring, they understand firing, they understand systems, they understand management, they understand, they understand what it means to be a manager. They understand that it's a we business, not an I business. Kellen Vaughn builds his business before the volume shows up.
Mm-hmm.
He's always ahead of the volume.
Okay.
So for you, because of this unknown, I would tell you that if you're not consistently interviewing for support with people in your area, you may find that your volume of business may ramp up equal to the amount of effort you're putting into Home Benefit IQ. And the last thing you want to do is A, turn away business, or B, have it fall apart and have your reputation tarnished while you're scrambling to try to find people and train them and get them up to speed.
Okay.
I don't know. Is
All right.
is that fair,
Yep.
or am I missing the boat on that?
No, I agree. I mean, in the mortgage industry, there's essentially two philosophies, right? You just outlined them both. You either hire ahead of the volume or you scramble and try to catch up. And I'm not a fan at all of scrambling to try to catch up.
No, because you're literally subjected to whatever. Well, that's where we tend to make the worst hiring decisions. We don't hire based on quality. We hire based on convenience.
Mm-hmm.
And we know how that all turns out.
Yeah.
Tony. Oh boy. Yeah. He's like, son of a bitch.
I know.
I know.
I can see his face.
Well,
look at it this way. That's a high-class problem to have, buddy.
Yeah, I know. And my
problem again.
I'm gonna recruit my wife to help me with some of this. She's really, really good at hiring. Really good. Yep. She's just really good. Much better.
She's a talent acquirer. She knows.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to tap into that resource.
There you go, brother. Sounds like a good plan to me. Hey, you know what? There might be a few other people that you might be able to tap into who might have some contacts.
Yeah. Like who?
Why don't you ask? Linda.
Like Linda? Linda? You might have some right.
Oh my God.
Linda,
who would have thought? Who would have thought Linda might actually know somebody in the business?
I've only been in it, all my life.
She sounds like she might be a really good ambassador for you. I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, Linda, then we're gonna have this conversation.
Sounds
all right,
good.
guys. I'll let you guys get busy on the homework. You guys got some exciting things happening. I enjoy our call so much, man. Thanks for spending your Fridays with me.
Yeah.